hope you had a good weekend, and looks like a pretty nice morning out there. There is some rain in our forecast, and it is the remnants of what we thought would be Tropical Storm Erica or Hurricane Erica or whatever it was going to be. But the interesting thing about this very, very hard to predict storm is that it kind of dissipated, and that was kind of a sudden piece of news for us. We were keeping an eye on it. For those of you who were following us on Facebook, thank you for the kind words that were said, which is nice. Nice. We were even as we were on the road doing our little gig in Castleberry, we stopped at a McDonald's so we could use the Wi-Fi and update when we had some new information. So
that way you're very important to us.
Anyway, so there's a trough. They call it a trough of low pressure that is bringing rain again. And I guess, and you'd have to ask a meteorologist this, but it sounds like what we've been experiencing was not that. What we will experience today is that. What used to be Erica is coming today to bring more rain. So, which is good news for South Florida because they've got droughts. It's not necessarily something we need because we've got plenty of rain lately, although we did see a few pretty dry-looking lakes on the way to Castleberry the other day, on Saturday. Yep. The National Hurricane Center also says there's another storm out there called Fred. I think it's already a hurricane, but it's very small. The distance from the center of it to the edge of it is only 17 miles, which is very small. And they say it probably will dissipate also. It's thousands of miles away from the coast of Florida, so it's nothing we're even concerning ourselves with right now. But anything can change, as we learned this past weekend. All right, tomorrow is September 1st. So here's a song to kind of welcome you to September. This song was released 1937, 2 years before Ocala had her first radio station.
Dreams lie buried in autumn leaves. They're covered with autumn rain.
That is James Melton. James Melton died in 1961, but he was really popular. He made a name for himself in the 20s and the 30s, and actually later on as well. He even had a career as an actor. As you can tell from his voice, he's a tenor, and you would consider this an operatic tenor, right?
The leaves of brown came tumbling down. Remember in September.
What's that?
So pretty.
It's very pretty, very pretty. And they cleaned it up so nice. A lot of those old recordings didn't exactly fare well if you had heard them on their original records. But technology, we were able to clean some of that stuff up, and now we have some really good sounding old records. Anyway, he worked in dance bands. James Melton played saxophone in a college jazz ensemble. He began singing on New York radio for no pay. He joined a group called Roxy's Gang. Roxy's Gang was a cabaret group.
Oh, cool.
He worked with the Sieberling Singers. He made records for Victor Records, which you might remember, RCA Victor.
Oh, yes.
He sang as one of the tenors with the Revelers and for Columbia Records with the same group under the name The Singing Sophomores. He frequently sang with popular singer Jane Froman and appeared with her in film as well. He was an actor as well. He recorded his first songs under his own name for Columbia, and in the autumn of 1927, he quickly became a popular singer and made numerous vocal recordings as well as singing vocal choruses for dance records.
Nice.
By 1931, James Melton, along with the rise of the conservatism and a religious revival, initiated a movement to more masculine-sounding voices in popular music, and singers such as Franklin Bauer, Nick Lucas, and Scrappy Lambert saw their careers diminish, while baritones such as Bing Crosby and Russ Columbo became more popular.
Oh.
Tenor voices, like that of James Melton, became viewed as outdated in popular music, and he was forced to change paths and decided to try to continue his career with classical music. So he began to train his voice and went to Berlin for help with this from Michael Roscheisen. Anyway, he gave his first concert after that training in a town hall on April 22nd, 1932 in New York, and went on as an American and Canadian concert tour with George Gershwin in 1934.
Oh,
Why am I
nice.
telling you about him? Are you wondering? Are you wondering?
Nice.
Are you wondering why?
Well, we love historical people. We love to find out new things about people we haven't heard of.
Ocala got his first radio station in 1939. Melton continued to perform on the radio. He was heard on radio stations all over the country. I'm not implying he was only heard here. He was on the Firestone Hour in 1933, which was a national broadcast. He was on Ward's Family Theater in 1935, the Seal Test Sunday Night Party, which was a radio show in 1936, the Palmolive Beauty Box Theater in 1937, lots and lots of different shows he was on radio. In films, although he wasn't distinguished as a dramatic actor, he appeared in movies including Stars Over Broadway in 1935,
Oh, I think I saw that one.
Sing Me a Love Song, which came out in 1936, Melody for Two in 1937,
Oh, I saw that one.
and The Ziegfeld Follies, which came out in 1946.
Nice.
He appeared with the Cincinnati Zoo Opera Company as Pinkerton in Puccini's Madame Butterfly. Just goes on and on and on. It's a very, very cool little history of James Melton. He spent the 1950s making records, singing in nightclubs. If you hear some of those records, you'll hear the difference in quality of sound recordings from the 1930s and 1920s. By 1950s, we had developed technology to record that was way better. But anyway, he had a show called The James Melton Show, which was sponsored by the Ford Company, and it got him involved in collecting rare automobiles.
Wow.
And his rare collection of automobiles ended up with him creating an auto museum here in Florida, in the town of Hypoluxo, which I'm probably mispronouncing. I'm looking at the word thinking it's Hypoluxo, Hippoluso maybe, who knows. But that's the town is on the coast of Florida, East Coast, south of West Palm Beach. It's down in South Florida. So, again, you're asking why, Larry, are you talking about this guy named James Melton? Is it because he sang this song about September? Is that why? No. This is not why I'm talking to you about James Melton. James Melton has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one for radio and the other for recording. I told you that he died in 1961, April 21st, 1961. He died in New York City from pneumonia.
Oh.
There's a couple things I haven't told you about James Melton. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
James Melton was born in Moultrie, Georgia, not too far from here. Even closer than here, he was raised in Citra, Florida.
Oh, my gosh.
His parents grew watermelons,
Oh, my
and they raised
gosh.
hogs in Citra, Florida, not too far from here.
Wow.
He attended the College of the University of Florida. He also went to Vanderbilt University and the University of Georgia. And he graduated from high school here in Ocala.
Gosh, isn't that fascinating?
I believe it was Ocala
stuff?
High School. I'm not really sure about that.
Wow.
And if you didn't know, he is buried here in Ocala.
Oh, my gosh.
His headstone, his gravesite, is at the the cemetery called Woodlawn. Is that right? Is that what I told you it was
Yes.
called? Woodlawn?
Yes. Wow.
And it is marked. Let me see. I have it in the book here. I was reading about him in the book by Ernest Jernigan. Ernest came in a long time ago, really.
Yeah.
Images of America, Ocala is the name of the book. And let me
We had him
find
on WTMC when we were there.
it. Get him on here, too.
Yeah, we did.
James Melton, 1904 to 1961 is what his headstone says. And Woodlawn Cemetery here in Ocala, not too far from where we used to broadcast at the Cascades. Anyway, so there you go. A little history about Ocala right there.
A famous person.
Famous
Buried
person.
here.
2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow.
All right, we'll take a little break. When we come back, I want to tell you about another article I read, which kind of illustrates in metaphor how you know if you're a liberal or a conservative and other labels that we use. We'll be right back.
To every word
2 races to go before the chase field is set. This is the Coca-Cola Monday Morning Race Refresher, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Enjoy the race with an ice-cold Coke, the official soft drink of NASCAR.
Coca-Cola Racing Family Road Trip.
NASCAR Confessionals. Driver's log, day 3. Tony Stewart here. We've been on the road for 72 hours, and I think someone's stealing sips from my Coca-Cola. Day 7. It happened again. I opened a Coke, and I turned around. It was almost half gone. Day 14. Decided to use my phone as a hidden camera. Greg Biffle owes me 10.5 bottles of Coke.
Coca-Cola, open happiness. Official soft drink of NASCAR.
The Sprint Cup Series was off last weekend for the final time this season, but Paul Menard got a dramatic home state win in the Xfinity Series Saturday at Road America in Wisconsin, and Eric Jones won the Camping World Truck Series race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park Sunday. Now attention turns to Darlington this week for the Bojangles Southern 500, the final one for Jeff Gordon.
I love what the others are doing, and I kind of wish that we were doing a little bit more retro paint ski, but I've heard and seen what some of the other teams are doing, and I think it's really, really cool. You know, the Southern 500 Labor Day weekend is you know, that's that definitely is a throwback, and it you know, it's going to be hot. I know that, and slick, and that's also going to bring back a lot of thoughts and memories of the races that I've run at Darlington over the years.
We'll have special Bojangles Southern 500 throwback programming all week presented by STP. This has been the Coca-Cola Monday Morning Race Refresher. Enjoy the race with an ice-cold Coke, the official soft drink of NASCAR. I'm Woody Kane on the Motor Racing Network.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A flood watch is in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Mostly cloudy today and tonight with some showers and thunderstorms around. There could be some flooding downpours. The high today 85 to 89. Tonight's low 72 to 76. Clouds and some intervals of sun tomorrow with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. The high 88 to 92. For Wednesday, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and thunderstorms. High 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lunder.
Thank you, Joe. 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. Beautiful looking Monday morning. 74 degrees here at the studios of The Source. The weather today, there is an 80% chance we'll see some rain. Some of that will be the beginnings of the remnants, the leftovers from what was Hurricane Erica. Then downgraded to Tropical Storm Erica, then downgraded to Tropical Depression Erica, the storm that we were looking at very closely over the weekend because it looked like by tomorrow and Wednesday it would be hitting us hard. But thank goodness it's not. It's going to be fine. We do have the rain from it, though, and that's not such a bad thing. Cloudy skies this morning, followed by thunderstorms during the afternoon. High temperatures around 88 degrees. Not bad. Wind light and variable, and again, an 80% chance of rain. And that hurricane out there right now, Fred, looks like it's not anything to worry about.
Oh, okay.
All right, there's let me play a little bit of a movie trailer for you. This is from the movie called War Room.
You've been a good enough father. I want to be a good enough father.
Let's go, let's go! Don't quit! Don't quit!
Hey, you know what? I thought your jump rope routine was really good.
I just got a notification that you moved money from our savings into your checking account.
Can we talk about this later?
You must be the real estate agent.
Well, it's so good to meet you.
Let me show you the house.
This is my favorite place in this house. I call it my war room.
You wrote prayers for each area of your life.
Prayer strategy.
I sure could use some of that. Tony, you should go see her practice tomorrow.
I'm out of town this week.
When were you going to tell me?
I just did.
Tony, that was my favorite rep.
I'm real good. How you doing?
I wish I lived at your house. Whenever my parents are together, they just fight.
happiness.
Dude, I can't get a pass from you. It'd be easier to baptize a cat. I just needed to blow off a little steam, okay?
There's one thing we do well. It's fight.
You do not want World War III to break out in your home.
No, I don't.
Just because you argue a lot doesn't mean that you fight well. You got to plead with God so that he can do what only he can do. Then you got to get out of the way and let him do it. You need to do your fighting in prayer. Keep fighting the good fight.
There you go.
Wow, it gave me chills.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie.
This is a movie called War Room, and I think it began this weekend. If you did.
It's time for you to take off the gloves and fight for your marriage. Keep fighting the good. Lord, we need an army of believers. Lord, call us to battle.
Wow.
Raise them up, Lord. Raise them up.
Wow. Sounds like a powerful movie. It made $11 million this past weekend, and the hoity-toities of Hollywood are like scratching their heads going, what? Because all of the, if you look at some of the reviews, they're not necessarily that flattering, but...
From the critics.
From the critics, yes, from the critics.
I don't trust them.
The producers, the directors, whoever you call the makers of this movie, Stephen and Alex Kendrick, they're brothers, and they're known for making Christian films. And this is their latest one. And for a $3 million investment has now made $11 million. That's this weekend alone.
Wow.
And outside of evangelical circles, Christian circles, whatever, religious circles, the name Alex and Stephen Kendrick probably is not even heard. In fact, I looked up Stephen Kendrick. I couldn't find anything on Alex, but Stephen is a pastor at a church in Albany, Georgia, Sherwood Baptist Church. So he's a pastor of a church, and he's making these $1 million movies. And it's I looked at the trailer. I haven't seen the movie, but it looks like a very well-made movie. Anyway,
sounds great.
So I don't have any more to tell you about it other than that, and the fact that I want to see it.
Yeah, it really sounds good. Very, very powerful sounding, too.
It's the story of a disintegrating marriage rescued by intense prayer. The War Room is the War Room is the title of the movie. It sounds like the couple is having a hard time. It's a young couple. They've got young children, and they're not necessarily at the best of times in their marriage, and looks like they're selling the house, or maybe she's an agent, a real estate agent. So she goes into this house of this woman who's selling her house, and she said, "This is my favorite room," and all over the room are these pieces of paper. Each piece of paper holds a prayer that she wrote for some point in her life, where she was asking God for help, for guidance, etc., and for thanks, whatever it was. And the whole room is covered with prayers. So the woman who's having trouble with her family, with her husband specifically, decides to start praying for their marriage and starts writing the prayers down and posting them up in a special prayer room just for that purpose. And you have to see the movie to get the rest of it. I
love the title, War Room.
War Room, yes.
Yeah, I love that.
So I thought I'd share that with you.
You win the war with prayer.
All right, let's talk about ideologies. This is from an article I found online. You'll get a kick out of this, Robin.
Okay.
Here's how you can better understand what socialism is.
Okay.
Okay. You have 2 cows.
Yes.
The government takes one of them and gives it to your neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what socialism is. You have
I
2
believe
cows.
that.
The government takes one and gives it to your neighbor.
Yep.
Fascism. You have 2 cows. The government takes both of them and then hires you to take care of them and sells you the milk. That's fascism.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we don't
I
go.
like that.
We don't want to make sure we don't go that direction.
No.
Communism. You have 2 cows. Your neighbors help you take care of them, and you all share the milk. That's in writing. That's not the way it works out in practice, though. Because in practice of communism, it goes beyond that, because then corrupt leaders actually begin to take over everything. So
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, that little sentence right
yours.
there almost sounds nice, doesn't it?
It does.
But-
Almost sounds nice, but
But
it
you
is
know
not.
better than that, which is why communism
trick.
took off, because you would read what Karl Marx wrote and you would say, oh, well, that's not bad, you know. Well,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't work out that way because of the nature of humans, which is why our founding fathers were so smart. They said, we really can't trust our own species, you know. So
Exactly. I love how you use cows. It's like,
feudalism. You have 2 cows. Your lord takes some of the milk. That's feudalism.
yeah. Yep. They don't have anything to do with the upkeep.
Now, I told you what communism was. Let me tell you what Soviet communism, the old USSR ideology.
Okay.
You have 2 cows. You have to take care of them, but the government takes all the milk.
Yeah.
You steal back as much milk as you can and sell it on the black market. That's the old Soviet communism.
Exactly.
A dictatorship is when you have 2 cows and the government takes both and then drafts you to fight their wars.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a dictatorship. A democracy. Again, this is a thumbnail sketch and I guess is with a tongue-in-cheek a little bit. You have 2 cows. Your neighbors decide who gets the milk. You have 2 cows. Your neighbors decide who gets the milk.
Your neighbors decide.
Your neighbors decide.
Yeah. Not you. You're the owner.
In a republic, you have 2 cows and your neighbors pick someone to tell you who gets the milk.
Yeah.
You elect somebody to tell you who gets the milk. You can replace milk with taxes.
Oh, sure.
In a bureaucracy, this is not really a type of government necessarily, but in a bureaucracy, you have 2 cows. To register them, you fill out 17 forms in triplicate, and you have no time to milk them.
Exactly.
Bureaucracy is when you have too much paperwork.
That's right. Too much.
You can't even own a cow without.
No, without paperwork.
Here's anarchism. Anarchism. You have 2 cows. Either you sell the milk at a fair price, or your neighbors try to take the cows and kill you. Anarchism.
I believe that.
Anarchism.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Now, here's a good one. Capitalism. You have 2 cows. You sell one and buy a bull. There you go.
Yeah.
Capitalism. You got to make what you have grow. I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Surrealism. Don't ask me why that's in the group here, but you have 2 giraffes. The government requires you to take harmonica lessons. That is surrealism.
That's right.
You have 2 giraffes.
Totally.
The government makes you take harmonica.
Off base there.
Industrialism. You have 2 cows. You dissect them both and figure out how to build a milk factory instead. That's industrialism.
And how come the cows were replaced with giraffes in surrealism?
Because it's surreal.
Yeah, there you go. I got it.
Here's what it sounds like if you're being a little bit too politically correct. You are associated with 2 differently aged bovines. That's political correctness. You are associated with because the concept of ownership is a symbol of the phallocentric, warmongering, intolerant past. That's why you can't say you own them. You just associate with them. And you have 2 differently aged because you can't use old and young anymore because that's politically incorrect. You can't call them cows, so you call them bovines.
Exactly.
Here's Nazism. This is what Hitler wanted us all to live like. You have 2 cows. You aren't Aryan, so the government takes both and then shoots you.
Yeah. That is straight
That was
truth.
Hitler. That was Nazism.
Straight truth. People believe in that.
Here's Marxism and Leninism. The proletarian cows unite and overthrow the bourgeoisie cowherds.
Those are good ones. And that is a great way to illustrate these points.
Here's the theocracy. You have 2 cows. The supreme leader, chosen by God, gets to decide who gets milk and who doesn't. Yeah, it's a theocracy. It's when somebody portrays themselves as having a direct connection with God and can tell you exactly what God wants from you.
Exactly.
And finally, libertarianism. How many cows I have and what I do with them does not concern you. I don't care what you do with your cows. You don't care what I do with mine. That's a libertarian.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, class.
Oh my gosh. That is excellent. Excellent.
We hit a cow Saturday.
Yes, we did.
So I thought I would bring cows to the show. And I'll do it till the cows come home. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm